Kenneth Walker is a guy that I think is maybe a little bit polarizing in the fantasy football community, but I think he's really well set up to rebound for folks this year, Chris, because I think, is a great fit in the outside zone scheme that Clint Kubiak is bringing here. Now, he has dealt with some injuries during training camp, but I think he got back to practice today, so that should be good there. Walker's always a guy I've struggled with a little bit because I think the gap in ADP between Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker is kind of tough, right? Because I think Charbonnet is a pretty solid player, but Walker, it does have a lot of upside as a pick in the kind of mid-range RB2 zone. So do you think this is a player who could have a fantasy rebound this year?
Oh, I agree for Ken Walker for sure. And I understand some of the potential uncertainty about the foot injury that you were just mentioning, but looking at his efficiency throughout 2024, one of the things that I look at for running backs is forced missed tackle rate. So it's the ability to essentially shed that first defender and see if you can pick up an extra 2, 3, 4 yards or whatever the case may be. One of the things I was able to find in some of the research is that forced missed tackle rate does correlate at least somewhat to explosive rushing rate. And that's what we would want for a lot of running backs. The Jahmyr Gibbs of the world, the Saquon Barkleys, the Bijan Robinsons, guys that can turn a 2 to 3 yard gain into a 10 to 15 yard gain or more. And actually, Kenneth Walker, when he was healthy, actually led the league in forced missed tackle rate, 0.39 forced missed tackle rate, which is actually one of the higher rates that we've seen over the past 5 to 10 years. So if we can get a full season out of Ken Walker, and also in this zone rushing scheme that we're expecting to get out of the Seahawks this year, I mean, yeah, I understand that Sam Darnold might be a decent step down from Geno Smith, and we'll see whatever we can get out of the passing game now that it's led by JSN and Cooper Kupp. But if Ken Walker is the one that's still going to be essentially their RB1 going into week 1, I will at least bet on the efficiency from Ken Walker and say that he's a guy that I'm willing to let 2024 be 2024 and focus on what his future could be. And based off of his ancillary metrics, I say it's pretty bright for him.
I like it. He is, again, somebody that I've really warmed up to throughout the process, somebody that I'm pretty excited to draft in my first 4-round plan. If Kenneth Walker gets to the 4th round, I think he's a really good early 4th round pick there. If he's at the end of the 3rd, I would consider him. I would consider him over another one last guy before we get into my guys here, which is a fun topic that I think everybody's excited to hear about. Breece Hall. Am I being hypocritical? Am I being hypocritical and kind of saying I don't really know if I buy the full bounce back for Breece Hall? Look, nobody's asking you to believe he's going to be a top 5 player in fantasy like he was drafted as last year. But and I do think he is a proven good talent. He's proven good NFL play before. He's healthy right now. But I'm a little concerned just about maybe the Braylon Allen of it all, kind of eating into the touches here. I'm concerned about the pass catching upside with Justin Fields under center, and just how many damn points are the Jets going to score this year is another thing that keeps me kind of a little bit pessimistic about some of their players when they're going really, really high in fantasy. So Breece Hall, we showed him earlier, as the running back 13 in consensus rankings. I'm a little bit below that. Am I being hypocritical in my Breece Hall stance?
No, I don't think you're being hypocritical. I share the same concerns about the Jets offense as a whole, and actually noted it in a piece about my quarterback draft strategy that should be up on Yahoo right now. Go ahead and check it out if you get a chance, because let's look at the red flags. Tanner Engstrom, new OC for the Jets, the guy that couldn't get the job after Ben Johnson left, so they went out and instead they hired outside. He didn't go to Ben Johnson to Chicago, so he gets the Jets job. Okay, that's something of a concern, but all right. Let's also think that, well, what would Engstrom try and do to help Justin Fields evolve as a passer? Assumption of rational coaching, let's see if we can pull on some of those play action levers. Let's see if we can pull on some of those RPO levers. I mean, at least for play action specifically, those are the things that helped Jared Goff be better. I mean, allow him to deal with pressure, allow him to push the ball to, or at least get the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, insert name here. So, but still, for Justin Fields, just this past season, 29th in success rate on play action concepts on early downs. I mean, this is also the guy that was Fields was also throwing just around 5 air yards per attempt on a lot of those passing concepts. So if we're not seeing a level of efficiency that we would try and map to how Engstrom would try and call plays, I do have a lot of concern about how all this is going to work in concert together. What type of concepts is Engstrom going to try and get to Fields in order to make him get the ball over to Garrett Wilson? And the same thing goes for Breece Hall. So I think that even though Breece Hall has shown himself to be something of an efficient pass catcher in the past, and we know that the explosive rushing rate is also a talent that he has like in his back pocket. But if Justin Fields is incapable of sustaining drives and incapable of continuing to push the ball or keep the Jets offense on the field, we're already hearing in practice they're struggling against their own defense. How's it going to work once they get out onto the field? So I do think that I don't think you're being hypocritical at all when saying that we should at least pump the brakes on Breece Hall this year.